Hello, my dear students. I am Professor Muhammad Masood Ahmad. Today I am going to have the new session, the subject called Environmental Law. It is under LLB 3 years. So this subject we are going to cover. The syllabus is prescribed to Usman University, but the most of the universities for the law course, whether it is 5 years and 3 years, so they use it as a one of the subject. So we have in the curriculum. As a matter of fact, we are talking about the environmental law. This is the second class. The first class, we discuss about the syllabus, its importance, the units, topics, and the analysis of the syllabus. The environmental law, we had it in the first class. Now, this is the second class. We are going to take few of the important topics of uh, environmental law. Let us discuss something like why the environment is important. As a matter of fact, the environment plays an important role in healthy living and the existence of life on the planet Earth. So, this is very essential for the planet Earth. Earth is a home for different living species, and we are all dependent on the environment for food, air, water, and other needs. Therefore, it is important for every individual to save and protect our environment. See, we individuals, human beings, we put a lot of efforts and focus on the health of the individual, the health of the human beings. And one of the determinant for the health is it is the environmental factor. Okay, in medical sciences we have aspects like what is the genetic history, the family history of the patient, and what is the lifestyle of the patient. So what about his food habits, the sleeping habits, the physical activity. So these are all related to the internal factors of individual when we are talking about the health. The second and very important factor, it is the external environment. So here our lecture is focused on external environment. So external environment, it is not only for the living things, even it is for the non-living things on this earth. So from last few decades, the lot of importance and focus we are giving to the environment and its regulations, convention, and particularly the environmental law. Let us go for the next slide. So the first we are going for the term called environment. How we have derived this term? So I think it was the year 1828. Thomas Carlyle coined the term environment in the law lines of Scotland in 1828. Scotland, as you know, it is a part of UK. He is a Britisher. Okay, Thomas Carlyle. So the age is also given. The date of birth for him 1795, and he was there up to 1881. Okay. So therefore, Thomas Carlyle is the first person who termed the term environment first time. It was in 1828. Let us go for the second point. The word is derived from the French word inwarner. It is a French word, inwarner, which means to surround, enclose, or encircle. So this is the meaning of the French word inwarner, which includes the surrender, enclosure, and encircle. So like this, we have derived and termed this particular term called environment. Okay. Now let us see. Yeah. So the environment, when we talk, it is at macro level. The concept of environment, it has got the broader perspective. It is a macro level scope. So we are talking about the earth, we are talking about the planet. Okay. And all related aspects of planet. We call it as a components of environment. So we have the different components here. Okay. So this is the diagram we are using to explain the environment. Let us go for what is the definition and meaning of environment. The environment can be defined as surrounding or conditions in which living organisms such as plants, animals, and human lives. See, here when we talk about the environment, we use the term called living organism. Organism which also includes the plants. So this is very important. So environment, we includes the plants, we includes the animals, we includes the humans. So these things we include in environment. The second definition, it is the environment refers to the sum total of all conditions which surround man at a given point in space and time. This definition is given by the C.C. Park. It refers the same thing. It is sub aggregate, the total of all conditions which surround man to a given point in space and time. It means it is the condition surrounded surrounded around man, okay, at a particular time, particular place, and particular time. So this is very important. So whenever we want to know the environment, the current status, it is static phenomena. It is not the dynamic one. Environment on a particular date, particular time, and particular point. So this is very important in order to understand the meaning and definition of environment. And the next one, according to Gaudi, 1984, environment is representative of physical components of the earth. Herein, man is the important factor influencing his environment. Okay. So here what happens when we talk about the environment, which is the normal, which is not normal, okay, which is abnormal. Abnormal maybe usually it is negative in the sense the environment it is abnormal, which is not suitable for the living things and non-living things on this earth. Okay, so what is important here? The important factor is the human factor. See, in usually in the lecture, I personally say this environment, the status of environment, it is directly proportionate and correlated with the population and demographic profile of the individual. This is very, very important. So as the population increases, then what happens? The density of population increases. It means the per square kilometer, how many persons are staying. If you go to few of the European countries, the density of population is hardly 2 to 5 persons per square kilometer. But when you are coming to the India, the density of population is more than 350% per square kilometer. So what is happening? More person occupying the less land. Where the density of population is very high, it means the land is more, the population is less. So what I say, the environment, the important factor is man, and apart from that, it is the demographic profile of that country. That is also very, very important. Then let us see meaning of ecology. Ecology is the study of the relationship between living organisms, including humans and their physical environment. It seeks to understand the vital connections between the plants, animals, and the world around them. So this is the relationship between living organism. Living organism, which includes the humans and non-humans, animals also, and then we have the plant. So what is the relationship between living things and non-living things? Okay, and its surrounding. So that relationship, that surrounding, that tell you the what is the ecological status of that country. So this is also one of the important concept for the environment. Now, ecology is the study of organism and how they interact with the environment around them. An ecologist studies the relationship between the living things and their habitats. So as I've told you here, when we talk about the environment, here we have the human being and then we have animals and plants. So in short, we say in environment we cover it is living things and non-living things. So in case of ecology and the ecologist, he studies the relationship among these things. That is man, animal and plants and the surrounding of that one. So she tries to study the relationship among all these things. Then this is the diagrammatic representation of ecology. So here in the pyramid we have soil, we have underground things, and then we have the plants on the ground, and there are a few other things you have predators uh, and herbivorous we have. So these things are there in the air. So basically in ecology, in the pyramid, we have divided into three things. So one is in the soil, we heterotrophs, we call it, and then we have plants, we call it as a autotrophs, and then in the air we have got few things that also we call it as a heterotrophs. So this is the ecology. The ecology consists of all the three phases, three stages of this pyramid. Okay, then let us go for diagrammatically. Diagrammatically, so we include the living and non-living things. Okay, so let us go to the ecosystem. What is ecosystem? An ecosystem is the community of organisms and their physical environment interacting together. Environment involves both living organisms and non-living physical conditions. These two are inseparable but interrelated. The living and physical components are linked together through nutrients, cycles, and energy flows. So ecosystem is a community of organisms and their physical environment interacting together. So in environment, here we involve living things and non-living things and their physical conditions. We have human being, we have animals, and we have the plants. Okay, what is the status of living and their surrounding? That is a physical condition for these living things and non-living things, that we call it as an ecosystem. So ecosystem is also one of the important concept in the environmental study. So this is something like ecosystem. It is something like subset. There we have under the bigger circle we have the habitats. So that is the subset, and under that we have the plant community. That is the subset. So we have superset, we have the subset, we have the subset. So ecosystem is the superset, habitants are the subset, and then we have the plant. That is the subset. So these things are there in the ecosystem that we can know with this diagram. Then biosphere meaning. Some examples of organisms that make up the biosphere include fish, algae, fungi, plants, insects, arachnids, animals, human beings. However, the biosphere does not just include the large microscopic life forms, it also includes the microscopic life forms. So, these are the living things, organisms. Usually in the sea and ocean, we find for seeing, observing, and examining these things, so we require most of the time microscopy. But when we call it as a biosphere, it is not only the large thing, it is at macro and micro both. Because of that, sometimes we use the macroscopic and sometimes we use it as a microscopic. So these things are there. Then, so this we can see biosphere, it is air, it is water, it is the land. So all these three are called as biosphere. Usually the air, the technical terminology in the environment, we call it as atmosphere, and then the water, we call it as hydrosphere, and the land, we call it as a lithosphere. So these three combination, which are interconnected and interdependent, this we call it as a biosphere. So environmental, when we go for the environmental study, okay, so this biosphere plays an important role. Actually, it is the determinants of the ecosystem and environment of any country, any place at any time. Thank you, friends. So today we had few of the basic concepts of environment where we discuss their meaning and definition, particularly what does mean by environment, and second one is ecology and the ecosystem and biosphere. These are the basic concepts of environment and environmental study, and because of that we give the importance and focus in environmental law, because this special law is based on this special knowledge or the domain knowledge. We call it as environment and environmental study. The students are required to spare more focus and more importance on the first unit of environmental law, which is there in the LLB course. Thank you. All the best. We'll be meeting for the next lecture. Thank you.